Hi, it's Friday, which means it's update day, and if you have no clue who I am, my name is Liz the T-Rex. I am an aspiring fantasy fiction writer, and I am currently on a journey to sort through all of my old work and turn it into something that is worthy for the public eye. And saying that brought butterflies to my stomach. I don't know why saying something out loud gives it so much power, but it does. Big trick for you. If you are struggling with getting things done, saying the goal out loud and telling yourself you can do it, that sounds very cliche. No, it's not cliche. Either way, saying it out loud gives it power. Try changing your perspective. If you say it enough times, your brain starts to believe it. It helps, trust me. But if you want to follow me along on this journey, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, and comment down below. Tell me your favorite book. We like books. Give book recommendations in the comment section. That being said, let's get in with my update. I have a sticky note in my hand to keep me on track so I'm not talking in circles. Cool? Cool. In last week's progress update, I told you that my writing routine was kind of all over the place, and I realized that if I really wanted to pursue this and turn this into something, especially with the project that I am working on, I needed to be a little more consistent, which is why it's the first problem. Because if I don't write, there's no progress. Go figure. But my way of tackling this was implementing 5-day writing challenges that will get progressively harder as the year goes on. You'll know when I'm attempting one because you'll see a short pop up on this channel telling you that I'm attempting one or challenging others to join me along. Last week, my goal was very simple. I just wanted to write 5 days in a row without missing a day. And we completed it, which is good. But in my hand, I have my totals because I like progress. So having something to look back on to see where I was at on that day, something about it just helps me keep going. It helps build the momentum. So, as for our results, I actually ended up writing for 9.5 hours. Now, that wasn't even throughout the week. The first 2 days of the challenge, I only managed to get about 30 minutes of writing, and this is physical writing, not plotting, not research. This is writing and putting words on a page. 30 minutes the first 2 days each, which is good. It's a good start, especially if this is a skill that I'm actively trying to build up. But that's not the interesting thing. It's what happened on the third day. I ended up writing an hour and a half, which is a little more than double the first 2 days, which is actually pretty good. I didn't realize I had done it though. And then we get to the fourth day in the challenge, and I wrote for 4 hours. I don't know what happened. I remember sitting down at my desk. I remember getting very locked in at the specific task I was handling. And then I look up and 4 hours had gone by. I don't know how it happened. I know I did take breaks throughout the day, but whenever I get up from the desk, I stop the stopwatch because I keep a stopwatch at my desk to keep track of how long I've been working. But I stop it whenever I leave the desk to go do things. But 4 hours of writing. That's a lot of writing for someone who sometimes goes months without doing anything. But that's a lot of writing. And then the next day I did 3. So it did go down. But I realized that when my brain really kicks off and I get into the zone, which if you are creative, you know what the zone is. It's the zone. It's when your space is so focused on the art that anything else goes out the window. And that's exactly what happened. And I'm very happy for it because that means I still got the passion. We just have to keep building it. But that is the progress that we've made. And I'm very excited about it. If you also took on this challenge, you managed to write 5 days in a row, congratulations. Get yourself a cookie. I got myself Dutch Bros. Now I won't call this problem resolved. It's just the beginning of me changing the routine into something better. So we have to implement a new challenge for myself. And this week, it's going to be writing 5 days in a row for 15 minutes each day or more. And I know that adds up to less time than what I completed in the first challenge, but my brain thrives on steady climb. If I start putting in the bigger goals based off of this information, I'm going to burn myself out at some point. Steady progress. Steady progress is what we want. So that is the next goal that we have to reach. On to the next problem, and this is actually getting into my writing specifically. While I was going through all of the notebooks, I realized that my writing lacked some kind of emotional depth, and I couldn't figure out why I wasn't connecting with the characters. And I actually came to the realization of what it was while doing the first challenge, which was a lot of my story openers begin with characters waking up for the first time. I know it's a very taboo thing to do. I think it's my way of getting into my characters' heads. But the problem with that is that oftentimes those scenes don't really show who the characters are. So, midway through my challenge, I have given myself the challenge to avoid that trope and put the characters in situations that really highlight who they are at their core. Changing that, it took a few times to figure out how to do it with one character. I think that's what sparked my brain into going into the writing zone. That's the only way I can call it. But I ended up locking in and being more productive through that way because I guess I was getting attached to my character. So I have to go back through some of these scenes, which I already decided after going through them that I was going to have to rewrite everything and take notes as I go because I also didn't take notes of anything. So I'm having to piece together specific spots to make sense of what the heck is going on. But my current goal this week is I want to get better at landing those character introductions that you can read a scene and you immediately latch on to who they are as an individual. So no more waking up scenes. It's over. It's done too much, and also it doesn't let me connect to the character very well. So some life advice for the people that are maybe pursuing a hobby that they haven't touched in a while or pursuing something for the first time. You're not going to get everything right the first try. Sometimes it's going to take 5 tries. Sometimes it's going to take 20. I didn't realize why I wasn't connecting to my characters out after about the 20th attempt to introduce a specific character. One that I won't share just yet because the scene still needs some revision. It just has the flow that I'm looking for. So keep trying because the rush and the adrenaline you get once you manage to succeed is so worth it. I have been running around with so much energy this week because of that one little win. And it's still a win. It's a small win, but it's a win. A win is a win. Doesn't matter how big or how little it is. But keep trying because it's worth it. That being said, the next update I'm going to try and have a readout of the first opening paragraph of the story that I am currently working on. I have a plan now. I know exactly where I want to start and all of the little details around it. Now it's just putting it all together that I'm working on. But that's all the time I have for you today. I'm thinking of making my coffee be the central blog for updates for all of my stuff. If you want to follow me on there, feel free to. The link is down in the description. The kind of things you'll expect is I might do some favorite sentences from my writing sessions during the week. I might add in some doodles from my personal sketchbook for my stuff. Don't expect it to be good because I'm not a good artist, but I do prefer to doodle my own stuff and then torment my artist with it later. It's kind of our thing, and it's very fun to traumatize the artist. Speaking of, if you have any artist friends that are participating in Art Fight this month, check in on them because it is the last day, and I know they're probably rushing to get all their points in. That being said, thank you for sticking around and joining me with this journey, and I will see you in the next video on Monday. Bye!